short minute. Can everybody hear me okay? If you could just type into the chat window. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm joined here by Anthony Nicolaitis. We're two of the application engineers here at Unitronics. And today we're going to be going over some of the SMS features that are available for our PLCs. If you're having any trouble hearing me or if you have any questions, feel free to just drop it in the chat box and Anthony will help you out as soon as he can. So let's take a look. So what is SMS? SMS is basically a text message. They're pretty standard nowadays. If you go and get a new cell phone, 99.9% chance you're going to have text enabled. It stands for Short Message Service, and it's a text messaging service for mobile communication systems that allows the exchange of short messages between mobile devices. It has a 160 character limit. It's 70 characters if you're using a non-English character language, such as Japanese. It only supports ASCII text and no pictures or attachments. Some newer smartphones or data plans will allow you to include pictures or graphics with your text. That's actually considered a MSM, or I'm sorry, MMS, multimedia service. For our modem, however, it is strictly ASCII. They're extremely common, and it's universal across carriers, meaning that if you set up your modem on AT&T, you can send a text to someone with Verizon or Sprint. You know, it's not limited to your carrier. So how can your PLC utilize an SMS? We have a couple different things we can do. First, probably most important, is an automatic alarm notification. If something does go wrong with your machine, an alarm goes high, a temperature gets too hot, you know, whatever the case may be, you need to know immediately. We can instantly send a text out to the person that needs to know. They can arrive on the site, make the changes that needs to be made, and they don't need access to internet or email to receive the alarm. All they need is to be in an area that has a good cellular signal. We can do remote monitoring. Not only can we send static messages, but we can also send the value of any input, output, or operand, including system integers, basically, or any system operands. We can also do it by request. So if you are out on the road and you're curious about the production count or current state of a machine, we can set it up that you can text your PLC and it'll send you back the information you request. A good example of this is you can do it, for example, an end of day. As soon as a working day is complete, we can have the total production sent to someone's phone. Here's a cool little application that was done over on a bridge in the UK. This was done using one of our Jazz controllers. All the lights, the color-changing lights, LEDs rather, on the bridge are all controlled by a Jazz. It's hooked up to a modem. And all along the bridge there would be signs posted with the number of the modem and then certain text that you could send. The different text would change the theme of the bridge. I believe there was one that was autumn that would change it into more of an orange-yellow scheme and whatnot. So what do I need to do all this? This is going to work with actually any of our PLCs from the Jazz up. Jazz, M90, and all our Vision controllers support the modem. You do need an available serial port though. So if you're already using one serial port for a barcode reader or Modbus communication, you are going to need a second one. You're going to need a SIM card that works on the GPRS network with a text messaging plan. We frequently recommend that when you are shopping for a SIM card that you request what's called an M2M plan. It stands for machine to machine. Basically, it's a dedicated plan for a industrial application. They're usually quite a bit cheaper, but they might have a stricter limitation on the amount of text you have, which might not be a problem. You're also going to need our GSM N4 modem kit. The part number for that is GSM Kit 41J, and that's for all U.S. applications. If you are designing an application from outside the U.S. or you are already outside the U.S., we do have other modems available. Just contact your distributor to see which one you need. Included in the modem kit, you're going to find a straight DB9 serial cable, part number MJ1022CS28. We need this only to first initialize the modem, to set it up to communicate with our PLC, and then we don't need it again. You only need to do the initialization once. You're also going to get an antenna with a magnetic base. You can get an MJ1022CS75. That's a DB9 to serial adapter. Looks identical to the CS25, which is our programming adapter. Although it looks similar, it actually does have a different pinout, so you can't interchange the two, but it's included in the kit, so just make sure you grab the right one. And then, of course, you'll have the modem and a power cable. The modem is a 24-volt DC modem. You can daisy chain it to the PLC if you like, or any other device in the cabinet. And then you'll see the modem down there in the corner. Some important things to see is there is an LED status light. It's labeled REG, or register. Basically, if the modem is unable to connect to a cellular network, it's going to be blinking, blinking green LED. Only when that light turns steady does that mean that it's able to connect or is connected. So now let's go and see how we actually set up a PLC to use SMS. So I've written a sample application here. Basically, it's going to initialize our modem. We're going to be able to enter a phone number and send it a text. We're also going to be able to check the signal strength, and we're going to be able to send a temperature to the modem. But before we do anything, we have to set up our modem to work with our PLC. So to do that, the first thing you have to do is you go to Connection, and then Modem Services. You want to do this with at first with the modem powered off. And then we're going to select our modem type. So we're on the GSM network, and I'm using a N4 modem. The COM port you see here, this is the COM port that I currently have the modem hooked up to using that straight DB9 cable to my laptop. It is not the COM port on the PLC. This is actually my laptop's COM port. And you want to make sure you have the baud rate set to 9600. Now I'm going to go ahead and power on my modem. And down the bottom here, you'll see there's two options. There's initialize PC side modem. If we were going to have the modem attached to my laptop and I want to communicate going out, but we want to have it on the PLC side, and it's going to be able to send messages to and from. So I just click that button. All these AT commands are populated automatically, so you don't have to change them. And then just go ahead and hit initialize modem. You'll see the status down here in the event log. And the last thing you're going to see is it closed the port. So everything initialized okay. I can close this. And again, you only have to do this when you first set up your application or the modem. And once it's set up and registered on the network and with the PLC, it's good to go. So I can close that. And I'm going to unplug the DB9 cable from the modem. And now I'm going to attach the MJ10 22CS72. That's the DB9 adapter that came with it. And I'm going to connect a serial cable from there to port 2 in my PLC. For today's example, I have a Vision 570. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ladder. As with most applications, especially one involving a communication, the first thing we need to do is initialize the COM ports we're going to be using. This is SB2. It's a bit that runs on the first scan when the PLC first starts and never runs again. And the first thing I do here is just initialize the COM port. I have it in COM port 2. Again, the baud rate is going to be 9600. And I hit OK. You noticed before on my screen I had a button that allowed me to check the signal strength that I currently have on the modem. That signal is first populated when the configuration is done, when you first turn on the PLC. But we can check it at any time, or refresh it at any time, I should say, by running this function block here. You can get that from function blocks, SMS, check signal quality. And when you run this function block, it's going to refresh system integers 185, 188, and 191. Those are our system integers for the signal quality. Little tip, if you forget the number, you can always just hit Control F. See this window pop up, and it has a little search box here, and you can just type in signal, and you'll see them populate here. Okay, so I have my COM port initialized. I'm able to check it. Now I need to configure the SMS portion. So the first thing I do is I have a positive transition contact off of system bit 82. That lets us know that the modem has finished initializing, and now I can configure it for SMS. Again, this is from function block SMS. So this is the main SMS configuration window. First thing I should point out here, this button up top, the Edit the Phone Book. We can type in a static phone number to add to our phone book here. Usually you want to add the 1 in the beginning. Or we can use an indirect. We can just state the beginning of an MI vector that holds an ASCII string. Note it's when we do use phone numbers, we do want to use ASCII strings and not just a straight numeric value. One of the reasons being is sometimes there may be a star or a pound. There's no numeric equivalent. That's also what the function block is going to be looking for. If you link it just to a straight numeric value, it's not going to read it properly. So I've already linked in here an ASCII string to my phone number and a phone number that we can enter from the HMI display. You'll see here I've already made a list of messages. These are both messages that can be coming from the PLC or going to. What I mean by that is when I send out a message, for instance, I could select message 1 and have it send out hello world. Or if it receives a message that says status, I can have it acknowledged by setting a bit. I do that here by selecting scan and selecting a bit. So if I text status, MB3 will go high. I can also only acknowledge if it comes from a particular number that I can grab from the address book. This option here, auto acknowledge, basically what that means is if I send a text to the PLC and everything is working properly and it receives the text, it's going to send that same text right back. Basically, it's just letting us know that it received it okay, the machine was powered on, and everything was functioning properly. It's not an educated response, it's just basically an acknowledgement. The P here is if I did select limit to authorized phone number. I should also note that 0 will always be the last number received. So if I text it, I can have the PLC immediately text that same number right back. Or I can select one from the list here. And if you do, you'll see there's now a key, meaning it only will accept from that phone number. So these first three, you'll notice are just all static text. We can also add in a variable using the create edit variable. I have one here. So if I have this set up that I would like to be able to send a temperature to the PLC via text and then have it set an MI accordingly. So I've done that by writing in temp, a space, and then I have a numeric linked to an MI. So whenever a text comes in that first meets the initial criteria of being starting with the word temp and a space and having a number, it's going to save it to MI3. It's very similar to if function block protocol. We actually have another webinar on. I should mention the site. It's unitronics.com/webinars. And then lastly, we have some status bits. Modem busy, similar to a Modbus program or another communication program. We don't want to be trying to do two similar tasks at the same time. So we were going to have a busy bit that lets us know if the modem is in use. So we can wait until it's done before sending in another task. And we'll get a status message. You can look in the help, see what the status message means. If you get an error and need to know why, just click the help file. In this sample one, I'm not using it, but if you want to know the phone number that last texted the PLC, we can record it in a ASCII string. Any questions so far? Okay, great. So far we've powered up our unit, we've established the COM port, and we've set up how the SMS is going to function. To receive a text, it's relatively simple. All I do here is I check to make sure the modem's initialized, and then I have a scan function block. With this setup, it's constantly going to be scanning, and as soon as a text comes in that met any of the criteria that we defined in the SMS configuration, the relative bits or functions will activate. Now here's a sample sending message. You'll notice I do not have it just directly on the ladder or on the rail like I do the scan function block. The reason being that I want to be able to queue up messages. For example, if I send one message and it hasn't finished sending before I tell the PLC to send another one, I want both to be able to finish in time. So to do that, I have a positive transition on the button on the HMI to set a bit. That bit is going to wait until the modem is not busy, and then it's going to send my text, and then reset. So let's go ahead and take a look at the send function block. You'll notice there's a couple options. Compose message. We just want to type in a sample message here. We can select from our list, or we can send an indirect message. The one I have selected right now is the ASCII string that I have set up on my HMI. You'll notice my vector length is 160, being the maximum amount of characters a text message can hold. I have a send status. Basically, as soon as it successfully sends, it's going to go high. And what we call a fail bitmap. What the bitmap is going to be is if one of the messages fails to send, say we're sending it to 3 different phone numbers, if one of those phone numbers fails, we're going to receive a numeric value back. If we take the bit value of that number, it'll show us which phone number or phone numbers failed. I can do that real quick. So for example, if I got an 8 in my bitmap, plug that in my little calculator here to convert it to binary, and it shows that the third bit failed. So whatever the third address was that I was trying to dial to did not succeed. Now I mentioned before, we can have the PLC send an acknowledgement, basically repeat my text. So whoever I send it, it will repeat it back to me. We also have the option of doing an educated response. So I want to request some information and have the PLC send it back to me. So for this example, if I send the word status to the PLC, I want it to respond and tell me that everything's okay. So the way I do that is, if you remember back in the configuration function block, if it receives status, MB3 is going to go high. So as soon as that MB3 goes high, the modem's not busy, it's going to send me status okay. And then reset MB3. So let's go ahead and power it up. Oops. Oh. So you'll see here, my modem has initialized. I just have this as a binary text or a binary image hooked up to the system bit, 82 I believe it is. I'm just going to check, again, the signal is first checked when the configuration first runs, and it won't run again until we request it to. You'll notice I'm getting a 23 here. The scale is actually out of 30, 30 being the best, and 12 is our minimum for usage. If it's any less than 12, you're not going to be able to send messages reliably, or if you are using a GSM application, you're also not going to get a reliable connection. So it needs to be between 12 and 30. So I'm just going to hit the check button to get an update. And it's 19. Good enough. So you see here, I can enter a phone number to send a text to. Again, you'll notice this is an ASCII entry. This is not a numeric entry. And I can send some text. I already have my phone number put in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and click send. And in just a few seconds, I should get a text saying hello. And there it is. All right, now I'm going to send a reply. I'm going to change the temperature value. So to do that, hold on one second. I'm going to send the word to the number I just got a message from. I'm going to reply, and I'm going to send a text that says temp space, and then the character pound, 1, 2, 3, and pounds. Yeah. So the temp is the startup text that we defined in the SMS function block. The pound is required whenever you're going to begin a numeric entry. 1, 2, 3, and I finish it with a pound. And just give me a moment while I type it in my phone here. Okay, and send. And there it is. Again, just want to show you the example again. I have the this send block here functioning off of a bit. This bit could be anything. This could be an alarm bit, that we have an alarm active. I could use a compare statement to see if a thermocouple is, reading a temperature that's way out of range. Anything that we can do in ladder, we can have activate this bit. So whatever vital information is needed or requested from the application, we can have trigger a send. Does anyone have any questions? Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for attending. We will be posting this up on our YouTube channel as well as our website under webinars. Again, that's unitronics.com/webinars, or you can just click on support and then the webinars link. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, support@unitronics.com. As well, if you have any ideas or requests for a future webinar on a topic that we haven't covered yet, please feel free to send us an email. Let us know. We plan to be rolling these out pretty steadily in the next coming months. We'd love your input. And other than that, thanks again, and have a great day.